that. Okay. Great to see you guys again. It's been a little bit, but not too long. So this was my first time using Sway personally. I don't know about y'all. Can you guys see that?
Mhm.
Awesome. Okay, so National Education Standards for Student and Teachers by moi, from Salisbury University, of course. What to expect, might quickly go over the ISTE standards specifically for students and teachers. And in each section, I talk about a lesson or a PD that focus on standards for students and teachers. And then I end with like the importance of these standards. So my ISTE standards for students, I looked at like the infographics, and if you click on this, you see there's a whole section about infographics and how you can use them in the classroom. And if you never used an infographic before, I think of it as just like a digital poster. And I mean, I think it hit every single student standard except for one, but I found three that I was like, this really hits, and I couldn't decide between them. But empowered learners, I felt like it really helped get students to realize there's different ways you can present things. So you don't always have to do a PowerPoint, or you don't always have to do a paper. Like, you can make your own poster. And then there's also different websites that you can use to make infographics. The innovative designer, it allows students to design something, and you can give it to them open-ended. I was thinking of using the infograph as kind of like a park review, where they can choose any unit that we've done and make a poster on it. And it's completely open-ended, make a poster using the infograph, and it really gets kids designing and thinking outside the box to make something. And then the communicator, I loved it because it gets students to like work with different platforms, makes them take responsibility for their work, and it uses the visual model and modules. So I don't know. I feel like I never used it when I was a kid, and I barely use it in my classroom, but an infograph is something that anybody can use for any subject or content area. Standards for educators. I found this cute little lesson called Shop Till You Drop, specifically middle school math, and appropriate or for like a 7th grade content. But it's an activity where kids have a budget, and then they shop online, like staying in their budget, and have to incorporate taxes and use coupons that they find online. And so I thought it was just a cute activity, and I thought it was perfect for standards for educators, because it has the educators help influence students on like how to go through and shop. I mean, my students are really good at shopping online, but it makes them pay attention to, are there any coupons out there? Are you paying attention to the taxes when you click on it? Because it's not going to have the taxes when you go and like shop online, and it doesn't tell you the taxes even when you shop in store. But like how to find coupons online, how to make sure that like the store you're using or the website you're using is legit and not just buying something. And I also think like the little lock button or the little lock in the corner, like students should know, like pay attention to this lock if you are putting any kind of credit card information in. So I thought that was really cool, and like making sure you're paying attention to that personal data aspect there. Designer, I thought it was a cool way to like create an activity and change the activity for what students would be interested in, and that gets them to dive deeper into their learning. And I mean, I know percentages are like an easy thing. You can easily say, I want 20% off of something, but like to actually have them shop online, which they probably do normally, and looking for those coupons, and it just kind of gets them thinking differently and in a way that will be normal to them. And that also goes into the analyst portion of the teacher one too. It allows for students to demonstrate that they understand it in a different way than just paper pencil. And I always think that like that's important because kids get bored with paper pencil assessments. And I will talk about like assessments and like technology assessments in a second here with my conclusion. So I will say that everything on the Teachers First website had something for every single standard for teachers and or students. And that's really important to like pay attention to what the standards are. Because you want to make sure that the teacher is learning, always learning how to use technology themselves, but also making sure they incorporate it into a lesson. And you want students to be effectively using technology, not just, okay, here's the worksheet, but now it's online. And you want to make sure they're using it properly and safely. That's really, really important. While I was looking at the National Education Technology Plan, it really showed the current plan basically includes all of those standards. You want to make sure like these standards are happening because of this plan. And I pointed out like the main sections of the plan was engaging and empowering students, teaching with technology, innovation and change, starting with like leadership, allowing that innovation and change, measuring learning. That's where I was talking about the analyzing and how you can do so much more and get students engaged online and making an assessment. And then access and effective use. We talked about a lot in a previous activity or module where you want to make sure that it's equitable and everyone has access to it at all times. So that is my main presentation. And here are all of my references from all of the different websites I got my information from.
Awesome. All right. Well, great job. I'm going to move on and present. Mine is a lot more brief. Sorry, I don't have much to add here, but if I'm going to ask that our hosts share my sharing abilities, so I can just share my screen. Thank you. Cool. Thanks. All right. So I'm going to start. And voila. Thank you, Alexa. Okay, you guys can see this. So here is the ISTE National Educational Technology Standards for students and teachers. All right. I am, of course, Malcolm Bratcher. And just to introduce a couple of keywords, collaborator. Twitter is going to come up in my very brief presentation. Virtual reality, which is interesting, and game jams is another term that's notable in this presentation. So first and foremost, I found that Teachers First, I found that this website had a lot of resources on collaboration, and I picked the Twitter platform because this is a way for educators to kind of collaborate and bounce ideas off of each other that are professional ideas. And it's sort of, I guess, a virtual form of professional development. Not that you're actually sitting in a workshop, but the way you can just share ideas. It goes along with the ISTE Standard for Teacher Collaborator. And like I said, the rationale behind picking this Twitter platform is so that way teachers can share ideas with one another. It goes right along with that target of that standard. Okay. And moving on to this other part of the presentation, the Office of Educational Technology. And it's a quick video on virtual learning or virtual reality. Hopefully it'll play.
Virtual reality, or VR, is a new area for education.
You guys hear it?
It's going to develop really quick, it's going to become part of everyday life. So we've started to explore sessions with schools where we link in the curriculum outcomes with materials available in virtual reality.
So today we've been running a virtual reality workshop with a group of students.
Have a look up. What can you see?
We've been looking at some different areas. We've been into space. We went up to the top of the Empire State Building and looked out at the whole of New York. And then we also went back in time into the trenches of World War I.
So virtual reality provides students with the opportunity to experience things they may never see.
Let's go land on the moon. Okay, let's go.
They feel like they're there, so they start asking questions about what's around them. And the great thing about the app that we're using today, Google Expeditions, is it gives you all that information.
So as the technology develops in virtual reality, we will be able to develop the workshops to be more advanced and to use more advanced technology. But the key is to make sure it always comes back to the learning outcomes.
There's been a lot of research that shows that spatial memory allows you to embed memories much more deeply than reading from text or from watching a video. And using virtual reality, we can embed that spatial memory and assign it with the facts that they need to learn. It allows the students to remember things much easier and in much more detail.
Can you see these soldiers down here?
Yeah, they were there first.
Virtual reality at the moment is new, but in a very short space of time, there's going to be the ability for teachers to create content specifically designed for their lessons so they can place students in immersive environments and then base their lesson plans around virtual reality.
I think it's really powerful. And there's so many different places that you can go, so many different ways that you can learn using virtual reality.
All right, so that was a really quick dive into virtual reality, and that part of VR aligns with the student standard of ISTE Student Standards, innovative designer. So students use a variety of technologies within a design process to identify and solve problems by creating new, useful, or imaginative solutions. And I would say it directly aligns with one of the subcategories of students select and use digital tools to plan and manage the design process. Also, students know and use deliberate design process for generating ideas, testing theories, creating innovative artifacts, or solving authentic problems. So that is VR in the classroom. And then there was also game jams, which is a way for students to play meaningful games that are purposeful for their learning. Game jams aligns with the creative communicator standard for ISTE, and virtual reality kind of goes with the innovative. Sorry, my battery's dying, so the screen keeps going dark. But the VR aligns with the innovative standard, and the game jams aligns with the student creative communicator standard. And then here are a few references for that at the end. Okay.
Very nice. That was
Thank
was
you.
pretty cool. I like the virtual reality. That would be cool using with art.
Presentation looks really nice. This way, you put it up and I was like, whoa, that looks real nice.
Very nice. Well, I will, unless, do you have anything else to add? I'll go ahead and share mine if you're done. Okay. All right. All right. Can you see this? Hold on. Can you see my screen? Hold on, I lost you.
No, I can't see it.
Okay.
Not yet.
Yeah, all right, there we go. Share. There we go. Is that it?
Yep.
Okay. So my presentation is on art history, a timeline of art history. So my name is Amy Blevins from Salisbury University.
Did you click
And
the
I
play
promise
button?
you when I, pardon me?
Did you click the play button? 'Cause I
Oh,
don't see-
play. Okay, there we go. There, I was going to say it looked different when I saw it before. There we go. Okay. much better. That's what I intended there. Thank you. I am new to Sway. That was kind of interesting to try to figure it out. So I hope I did this correctly. But the ISTE standards that I used it was an art history lesson. And it's basically the link that I used is art history timeline from Teachers First. This is a walkthrough art from, the Paleolithic days, from cave drawings to current or modern history. So you can basically reference any time frame in the art world for as long as time existed. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And so ancient art history to modern art history, it combines culture and art. It uses an interactive whiteboard. It's visual learner friendly, reviews and summarizes major points of a unit. And it's a chronological order with using the evolution of art culture across millennia. So the ISTE standards for teachers, this lesson supports standards through accessibility, apps, devices, and materials for learners. The authentic learners are placed in real world experiences. It deepens the deepening of learner understanding of the evolution of art. The tools that's used, it uses tech and media to explore the history of art. Okay. See. The ISTE standards for students. This lesson supports standards through empowered learner using technology to achieve learning goals. Creative communicator using digital platforms to express themselves creatively. Global collaborator. Students enrich their learning by collaborating with others. In conclusion, an art history timeline. Sorry, I keep having to move the you guys over to the side so I can see what I'm reading. So in conclusion, an art history timeline includes culture, art history, using digital learning, chronologically displaying the evolution of art culture across timelines. And the references are right here. Okay. And that's my presentation.
Thank you so much. Wonderful.
Thank you. Looks good.
Stop sharing. There we go. Well, I definitely found great resources. I actually kind of got a little stuck because there was so much to choose from. And I kind of just kept going back and forth on what to use. And so I'll definitely be using the Teachers First for sure.
Yeah. I was gonna say they all were like, whoa, that's a lot. Mm.
Yes, it is a lot. It was overwhelmingly a lot. I got to a point where I'm like, this is what I'm using. I'm just going with it.
Okay. So. Well, if that is all, I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording.
Sounds good. Thank you. Good.
Thank you guys for your presentations.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you.